Hollywood's golden boy has dazzled audiences for decades with his charm, talent, and undeniable good looks. But Brad Pitt is more than just a pretty face. He's a powerhouse actor and producer who's managed to stay at the top of his game. From iconic roles to personal triumphs and struggles, there's a reason why Pitt has been one of the most admired men in Hollywood. Curious about what makes him so captivating, on and off the screen? Here's the lowdown on Hollywood's ultimate heartthrob, Brad Pitt. A college dropout. Acting was not Brad Pitt's intended professional path. The guy would be a journalist until he decided to get in front of the camera as a college student. Pitt is astonishingly a college dropout. That's right. Pitt decided it was time to pursue acting while he was only 2 credits away from earning a journalism degree. Pitt left the University of Missouri just before he could graduate at the age of 22 to pursue acting chances. It seems his last-minute choice, made just before graduation, wasn't as horrible as he thought. Calendar boy. Pitt was destined to be gorgeous, and his attractiveness was apparent long before he entered the entertainment industry. Brad looked so good, too, posing for the school calendar just before he dropped out of college and moved to Hollywood. Could you picture searching for attractive college students for a calendar photo shoot and finding this ideal combination of smooth hair, baby blues, and a jawline that could break glass? It seems like you had a busy day. We wager that a copy of one of them may be worth a pretty penny now. All we have to do now is find out how to get one. His favorite film. Finding out what an actor or actress thinks is a beautiful movie and what they believe is the best is usually reasonably intriguing. After all, this is their trade. Brad Pitt claims that Saturday Night Fever is one of his all-time favorite movies. He told NPR that the movie was one of his childhood favorites and that he was fascinated by the culture that surrounded the story. Pitt, meanwhile, isn't only about glitter and disco. He also likes other kinds of movies. His other favorite movies are Dr. Strangelove and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That collection is very unique. His favorite candy. It must be pretty amusing for the audience to learn about the personal lives of their favorite performers, since we often only see them when they are playing someone other than themselves. During an interview with Oprah Winfrey, Pitt said Twizzlers were his favorite candy. Winfrey said that she found his selection of a favorite sweet to be a little strange. Pitt continued by saying that pizza and Frosted Flakes were his 2 favorite snacks and cereal. Pizza is more of a meal than a snack, but if Pitt feels that way, whatever. His best, worst film. Ironically, Brad Pitt's favorite movie in which he starred was a box office failure. Pitt said that The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford was his favorite movie of those he had worked on. He produced and starred in the movie, but even with a $30 million budget, it only brought in around $4 million at the box office. It seems that viewers anticipated a Western with plenty of action. Nevertheless, they got a slow-burning examination of celebrity and envy that could induce a state of meditation in even the most jaded spectator. Nonetheless, the movie has developed a devoted cult audience through its exquisite photography and subtle acting. A cartoon made him cry. Despite being a seasoned actor, Brad Pitt may not seem like a guy who sheds tears often. Pitt acknowledged that he is not typically tearful, but believed that one movie in particular moved him to tears. He started crying at How to Train Your Dragon's conclusion. We like it when a guy expresses such solid feelings and lets tears go. Guys, sobbing is never a sign of weakness, not to mention sobbing over a tale this lovely and poignant. More than an actor. Brad Pitt has said he likes to work behind the scenes, even though he has starred in several movies. It's accurate. We sometimes forget how much more he is capable of behind the scenes since we are so used to watching him on TV. The seasoned actor said that, in reality, he loves producing much more than playing and making a narrative come to life as a part of a team. Similar to many other actors and actresses, he seems to value the communal aspect of the art somewhat more than the more individualistic aspect of performing. He has the utmost regard for it. Band. It's not always the case that those well-known around the globe appear to have everything at their disposal. Brad Pitt was, at one point, prohibited from traveling to China. For what reason was this? His 1997 film, 7 Years in Tibet, was strongly criticized by the Chinese government, who felt it presented the Dalai Lama in a favorable light and the People's Republic of China in an unfavorable one. Eventually, however, Pitt's ban was revoked and he was allowed to visit China after almost 20 years. He even had the opportunity to advertise his 2016 movie, Allied, here. Recasting Kidman. The general public undoubtedly believes that any actor would be happy to co-star with actress Nicole Kidman. Not Brad Pitt, however. Kidman was in the running to feature opposite Pitt in the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but he wasn't persuaded to take the picture since he didn't feel he had any chemistry with the actress. Nevertheless, everything drastically altered when Angelina Jolie was chosen in her place. It would be absurd to claim that the stars lacked chemistry, even without realizing that the movie was the reason the two ended up dating. Help from Melissa Etheridge. It's difficult to believe that Brad Pitt was poor and unknown simultaneously, but it did happen. When he arrived in Hollywood as a complete unknown, the young actor had no more than $300. That's not very much. Fortunately, songwriter and singer Melissa Etheridge helped him by letting him stay on her sofa as he attempted to break into the acting world. She even taught him how to fly fish in her pool so he could practice for his A River Runs Through It audition. That's the purpose of Friends. A side hobby. Because it gives a glimpse into their daily lives, fans like learning about their favorite celebrities, interests, and side projects. Brad Pitt has a very intriguing pastime. Apart from traveling the globe and reciting pre-written lines to cameras, the actor is said to appreciate architecture in his free time. He even refurbished a wine cellar in one of his houses since he loves architecture. Following his do-it-yourself endeavor, he caught the interest of Frank Gehry, an LA architectural company, and was subsequently hired for an internship. We're not sure how he managed to juggle an internship with a schedule, but we suppose it all boils down to prioritizing your passions. Presidential ties. The fact that Brad Pitt is connected to an American president, although a distant one, is another fantastic truth about him. The 2008 New England Historic Genealogical Research claims that Pitt is related to Barack Obama via a guy named Edwin Hickman, although a distant relative. Pitt and Obama are ninth cousins because of this relationship. During one of their many meetings, Pitt wanted to discuss his idea for greenhousing and determine whether it might get government funding. Additionally, rumors were flying that Hillary Clinton was closely linked to his ex-girlfriend, Angelina Jolie. It's a tiny world. A TV star first. Brad Pitt is one of several future movie stars who began his career on television. Brad Pitt started his television soap opera career before gaining notoriety in film. We can honestly see it. Something about his appearance is ideal for the stereotypical soapy image. It might be the eyes, the hair, or the combination of both. Like many superstars, he began his career in daily soap operas. After doing so well in the NBC series Another World, he was cast in a recurring role on Dallas for 4 episodes. A creepy incident. People can sometimes put the fan in fanatics, and the outcomes may be unpleasant as well as hazardous. One of Brad's younger fans seemed wholly enamored with the actor. She found out where he lived and broke into his house somehow because she was desperate to be near him. The home seems to have been empty at the time. After dressing in the actor's clothing, the little girl slept off on his bed. Whoa! When the housekeeper discovered her later, Pitt, understandably, issued a restraining order, had her jailed, and so forth. Nice to meet you, Jen. Thanks to their charming dispositions and stunning appearances, Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston rose to prominence as one of their period's most well-known Hollywood pairs. However, you may be surprised to learn that the two did not cross paths on the set, at a trade show, or via a strange serendipitous encounter. Oh no, it was none other than their agents who set these two up. All right, so romantic, huh? Hollywood agents seem to be able to help you get gigs outside of performing. The two were well known in Hollywood right away. They spent 7 years together, 5 years as a married pair, but as we all know, it ended in divorce. Why not? Brad Pitt is a guy with intriguing, even upscale interests. After all, you don't see people renovating their wine cellar every day as a side project and then using it to get an internship in design. The actor decided to invest in a winery, which seemed like a potentially profitable endeavor. He and Angelina Jolie fell in love with France after his marriage to her, so much so that the pair started a vineyard and purchased a piece of land in the country. Their vineyard debuted a rosé wine in 2012, followed by a less well-liked white wine. Unfortunately, the couple sold the property after their divorce. Grab a chair. One example of a quirky pastime is the furniture line that Brad Pitt created. Would you purchase a chair that Brad Pitt designed? Most likely, many would. However, if it could be shown that he had trodden on the chewed-up bit of gum, many people would also buy it. In 2012, Pitt collaborated with furniture designer Frank Polero to launch a collection of opulent furniture, capping a year filled with many of his business endeavors. Naturally, his passion for building and design served as the inspiration for the furniture collection. Flying high. Think again about whether you thought Brad Pitt could be any more awesome. In addition to owning a vineyard, the hobbyist architect and furniture designer is also a licensed pilot. Yes, that's correct. Pitt may take over if he is ever aboard an aircraft and the pilot is feeling under the weather. The concept of being able to pilot his plane was first introduced to him by his ex-wife, Angelina Jolie. Jolie persuaded Pitt that he lacked this particular thrill in his life, even though she already had a pilot's license. Pitt even bought a World War II aircraft in 2013 for a hefty $3.3 million. The life philosophy. What is the one thing that drives you in life? Whether they acknowledge it or not, most people have a philosophy they live by. The same is true for celebrities, who are often seen as role models and influencers in today's society. Brad Pitt claims to live by the motto, "Just keep moving forward." All right, roughly speaking. The actor said he would rather keep moving, most likely to maintain his relevance, grit, and optimism in the face of life's obstacles. This approach seems to be working for the guy so far, as seen by his enormous success in too many disciplines to list. Bill Pitt? When trying to sell themselves, celebrities often decide to go by a name other than theirs. They fill out papers to have their names altered when they, or their representatives, think they don't sound glamorous enough. That's how Marilyn Monroe, who was born Norma Jean Mortensen, was born. The fact that William Bradley Pitt is Brad Pitt's actual name can surprise some people, even if die-hard admirers are already aware of it. Since Pitt was named after his father, William Pitt, or just Bill, should be his legal name. However, Bill Pitt doesn't have the same Hollywood quality. At Clooney's expense. A good buddy will sometimes laugh at the other's expense. Since 2001, Brad Pitt and George Clooney have collaborated on many projects and become close. It seems that co-starring in 3 Ocean's 11 movies will do that to you. They appeared to enjoy making fun of or pulling practical jokes on one another more than anything else. To each their own. Brad has even used some ludicrous gossip from tabloids about Clooney to make light of the actor, who has little trouble making jokes about himself. It's all Greek to him. Brad knows it's usually a good idea to make an impression on your in-laws and win their approval. When Brad and Jennifer Aniston were married, he went above and beyond. Greece was the birthplace and ancestry of Jennifer's father, the late actor John Aniston of Days of Our Lives fame. Brad made the difficult decision to learn Greek to impress Jen, which was not easy. At the time, perhaps, she was also impressed by his desire and commitment to re-establishing his connection to her Greek ancestry. Maybe he can still speak a few words now, Meet the other Pitts. The families of the celebrities they idolize often pique the intense curiosity of fans. Still, most people probably don't know that sweet Mr. Pitt has a sister and a brother. Julie, Brad's sister, has a large family of biological and adoptive children. There is undoubtedly a small similarity between him and his famous brother, Doug Pitt. You don't see that sort of jawline every day. Although Doug Pitt has sometimes been in the public eye, he starred in a Virgin Mobile advertisement in 2012, for example, he spends most of his time in the financial and charitable domains. Basketball reject. Brad Pitt aspired to be a basketball player before he became a huge movie star. That is middle school basketball, by the way. That was many years prior to his reaching his present height of 5 feet and 11 inches. Pitt, however, did not make the cut. He was turned down for the squad after trying out for the sport. Still, he didn't let that deter him, since he was an optimist. Pitt made the decision to form the Cherokee Rejects, a basketball team of his own, and he even requested his father, Bill, to serve as the team's coach. A will and a bill may work together to accomplish any goal. Parental controls. The main worry that famous parents may have is that their kids would think poorly of them because of tabloid rumors. As a result, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie chose to limit their children's curiosity as they grew older and more inquisitive. Pitt said that he had prevented his and Jolie's identities from appearing in their children's online search results. Wow, we had no idea you were even capable of that. That's one approach to protect your children from the gossip in the tabloids. Obviously, however, the children most likely have buddies, friends whose computers are unblocked by any names. Well, a parent can only take so much. The highway to success. Many now famous actors and actresses often tell journalists about their difficult journey to fame and success. However, in comparison to others, Brad Pitt's path to success was rather brief. Even though there have been challenges along the way, the young, ambitious actor was able to get representation only 7 months after moving to Los Angeles. That's rather impressive for someone who just moved to Hollywood. Some now famous figures from the entertainment industry who you may recognize struggled for years before making their big break or being taken seriously. Extra, extra. Despite having a very fast rise to prominence, Brad Pitt wasn't an instant star. He accepted minor assignments along the road, knowing they would help establish his reputation in the business. Pitt made the decision to accept a few uncredited jobs soon after moving to Los Angeles. Ironically, one such part was in the movie Less Than Zero. The film, which stars Robert Downey Jr., Andrew McCarthy, and Jamie Gertz, relates the tale of a young guy who learns that an old acquaintance of his has become dependent on illegal narcotics. Pitt portrays a young guy who is involved in a brawl at a party in the film. Runaround Sue. The personal habits, eccentricities, and previous misadventures of their idols are fascinating to fans. Fans may be surprised to learn that Brad Pitt once had a vehicle, since this is an unusual truth about him. What is that? Do you also own a car? That's great to hear that you have a connection to one of Hollywood's top actors. We definitely make fun of the fact that he only has wheels, however. The distinctive aspect of this situation is that Pitt used to drive a Datsun that he cherished and called Runaround Sue. Pitt had some very special recollections of driving Sue from Missouri to Los Angeles in that vehicle. On-screen snacks. You'll immediately discover an intriguing trend if you've seen any of Brad Pitt's flicks with any degree of care. Pitt often seems to be munching on-screen food, even though it's not always in the plot. The best way to see that is to watch him in the Ocean's 11 series as Rusty Ryan. Unless he's pulling off a really complex robbery, the guy is either holding or eating food. As an actor, Pitt chooses to eat while performing, maybe to help him decompress or give his characters a touch more humanity. In any case, Pitt's trademark motion while filming is munching on something or other. A blue-collar background. Our beloved Mr. Pitt was raised in a really ordinary household. No prior Hollywood ties, no special treatment, except for the type that comes with almost ridiculous beauty, but that's truly unavoidable. Hard effort, perseverance, and humility are the keys to success in life, and Brad Pitt has undoubtedly seen these traits in action over his lifetime. It's most likely because such ideals were ingrained in him by his family. His father ran a trucking firm, while his mother worked as a high school counselor. His father and mother were likewise aware of the value of having objectives, putting in a lot of effort, and resisting the need to relax after achieving success. Invested in his work. What would you do to make your job better? It is well known that method actors make tremendous efforts to become their roles not only during the filming, but also in the days and weeks leading up to it. For some performers, this entails spending a great deal of time studying their parts and sometimes even going on dark field excursions. One such gloomy field trip for Brad Pitt was to a mental health facility. He once went to, or rather checked into, the Philadelphia Psychiatric Hospital to be ready for his future part as a mentally ill inmate in the 1995 film 12 Monkeys. Hey, you must wash your hands occasionally. Some unexpected roles. Most people associate Brad Pitt and his movies with big screen comedies or tragedies. Most people don't consider animated movies. Brad did, however, dabble in a few animated movies. He portrayed the unexpectedly nuanced Metro Man in the 2010 animated feature Megamind. In the film Sinbad, Legend of the Seven Seas, he also provided Sinbad's voice. He also appeared on television with his voice in the animated series King of the Hill. In an episode from 2003, Patch Boomhauer had a minor part. Hand-me-down house. The house, or residences of a celebrity, is one aspect of their existence that piques followers' interest. Fans like seeing the extravagant and sometimes extravagant residences that celebrities have chosen to call home. Apparently, who the real estate is acquired or sold to is another factor to consider when it comes to those opulent residences. After becoming well-known, Brad Pitt, who has probably owned a number of exquisite homes, sold Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi one of his properties for $13 million. It resembles a little real estate bubble in the entertainment sector. Keeping the brotherhood. In America, fraternities and sororities are an integral part of university life. These student organizations often revolve around a shared professional or social interest. While some may condemn it and see it as a method for affluent kids to make themselves even more elite, others may consider college fraternities and sororities as a chance for students to interact and form lifelong connections. Regardless, Brad Pitt didn't think it was wrong to join a fraternity in college, which is why he belonged to Sigma Chi at the University of Missouri before quitting to pursue his acting career. A very special appearance. Viewers like seeing celebrities make appearances, particularly when they are very well known. Fans like it when their idols show up on TV out of the blue. When Brad Pitt was starting to gain popularity, he made a particularly noteworthy appearance. He joined a lengthy list of famous Hollywood people who appeared with his ex-wife, Jennifer Aniston, on the popular TV series Friends. Seeing Brad make his way into the story had the crowd going bonkers, particularly because he was meant to hate his real-life wife. His persona not only harbored hatred for her, but it also started the I Hate Rachel Club at school. Giving back. Brad Pitt has discovered the value of community service in addition to perseverance, diligence, and humility. For this reason, the actor founded the Make It Right Foundation in 2006 with the goal of restoring the New Orleans houses that Hurricane Katrina destroyed or severely damaged in 2005. The group has constructed 109 houses as of 2021 for individuals affected by the calamity. Although this was the organization's initial focus, it has since grown and assisted in the construction of eco-friendly homes in Kansas City, New Jersey, Newark, and other locations. A jewelry designer. We haven't yet discovered anything that Brad Pitt is incapable of doing. In addition to his evident skill as an actor, the guy also produces wine, renovates houses, is a pilot, and it seems that he has a flair for jewelry design. Pitt contributed to the design of a $500,000, that's $500,000 people, ring for Jennifer Aniston's engagement. The ring was a huge center diamond surrounded by lesser diamonds. Additionally, the actor created an Art Deco-inspired 16-carat diamond ring for his engagement to Angelina Jolie, shown below, which is estimated to be worth $250,000. He is undoubtedly a guy of many skills. An ironic twist. It's not all fun and games being an actor. On set, particularly with action films, there are moments when it may become very hazardous. This explains why stunt doubles are used in movies so often. The problem is that Pitt suffered a regrettable injury since he chose not to hire a stunt double while portraying the historical warrior Achilles in the movie Troy. Ironically, the actor had a long-term limp as a result of an Achilles tendon injury sustained while executing a stunt for the movie. Luckily, that was the only wound he sustained while working on the site. His craziest gig. Before becoming famous, a lot of people had regular occupations. While working in retail or waiting rooms is quite typical, some superstars have had somewhat odder experiences in the past. Sylvester Stallone, for example, once cleaned the lion cages at the Central Park Zoo. Before he became well-known, Brad Pitt worked at a job that was, well, kind of insane and amusing. In the past, Pitt would dress as a bird and distribute posters for El Pollo Loco, sometimes known as the Crazy Chicken. Even though there are undoubtedly worse occupations out there, it would be humorous to dress like a chicken. Groundbreaking. As you probably know, Chanel is one of the most iconic brands in the world, especially in the perfume world. While the legendary brand has had a handful of famous female faces represent their perfumes, Brad Pitt was given the privilege of being Chanel's first male spokesperson. While mostly considered a pretty masculine guy, Pitt wasn't shy about advertising a brand that is mostly consumed by women, and we are here for it. After the groundbreaking offer, he was also in major ads for Chanel No. 5, marketing their timeless scents to the male demographic. Way to go, Brad. What a sensation. Working dad. Even though he and Angelina Jolie are no longer married, Brad Pitt and Jolie have prioritized their children throughout their careers, giving them a renownedly large family. Although being one of the most sought-after performers in the business with your spouse isn't simple, the six-parent family has always made an effort to provide their children regular access to their parents. To allow one of them to spend more time at home with the kids, the couple would attempt to avoid working on a movie at the same time. Chasing waterfalls. One of the many benefits of being a celebrity is usually having a lot of money to spend on distinctive, expensive, and sometimes even ludicrous items. Usually, the first things that spring to mind are extravagant homes and exotic automobiles. But what about waterfalls? Indeed, waterfalls. As a birthday present for Brad Pitt after their marriage, Angelina Jolie bought a plot of property with a waterfall. That is a unique property plot. We're curious whether anybody else in the world can claim to have received a genuine waterfall as a birthday present. A big prankster. Fans were perhaps a little taken aback when Brad Pitt appeared in 2 episodes of the MTV series Jackass. Given that he and George Clooney have a history of playing practical jokes on one another, this truth may not be as shocking as it first seems. Given the reputation of the event for including some rather ridiculous pranks, Pitt naturally participated in the crazy stories. He claimed to be abducted in one episode and raced about Los Angeles in another while wearing a gorilla costume. That's what we refer to as entertainment now. A big title. Acting and a profession in the arts have become significantly less important aspects of becoming an actor or actress in Hollywood throughout time. Whether the public likes it or not, being an actor or actress in today's world entitles you to fame and a platform of power in the community. This is inevitable, after all, when you have a large following of people interested in your public persona. Your words and deeds carry more weight than those of the typical Joe. Brad Pitt was listed as one of Time magazine's most significant individuals in the year 2007. The Unknown Woman. It is a well-known fact that Brad Pitt dated celebrities. The Hollywood beauty was well known for dating a number of celebrities before he married Jennifer Aniston and Angelina Jolie, including Gina Davis, Thandie Newton, Robin Givens, Gwyneth Paltrow, and a few more. However, he did date one less well-known lady. He went out with Jitka Polodek in 1994. At the time, he was rocking the platinum blonde hippie Jesus look, and she was an aspiring actress with just one little job under her belt. He moved on with Gwyneth Paltrow shortly after that. What has happened to Polidek subsequently is not well known. An unusual tattoo. Ink. That might be humorous, ridiculous, culturally important, profoundly meaningful, or just plain strange. Fans are often curious about the phrases, symbols, or even characters that celebrities have decided to have permanently tattooed on them. Brad Pitt has an odd tattoo of the Iceman on his body. The Iceman indeed. If you are unaware, the Iceman is the oldest known natural mummy that humans have ever encountered. This corpse, also known by the moniker Otzi, belonged to a Copper Age man. It's a weird tattoo on his left arm, the purpose of which is unknown to us.
If you've watched the video till here, that means you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell icon